Hey Kipsters, your activity for the next part of class is for you to be able to describe the functions of 5 organelles in cells. Let's jump in. So the first thing that you should know is that there are many types of plant and animal cells. The one that you see here, this is a red blood cell. This is algae from a plant cell. You'll also see there's cheek cells, onion cells. All living things are made of cells. And inside those cells, there's these tiny things called organelles. And organelles are any part of the cell that have a specific function or job or role inside the cell. So we're going to study 5 of the organelles today. The first is the nucleus. The nucleus stores the DNA of the cell. It controls all the activities of the cell, and it's usually one of the largest of the organelles that you see. So this portion here is the nucleus. It's the control center, so it's similar to the brain. It tells the cell exactly what to do. It tells the cell when to move, and it houses all the genetic information. So information about your eye color or your hair color or all the inherited traits is actually stored inside in the DNA of the nucleus. Now, let's say you're a plant cell. Plants still have DNA, and that would include like what the leaves are going to look like or how tall the plant would be. That information is stored inside the nucleus. It's the center of the cell, and it controls all the activities. The next organelle that we're going to talk about are ribosomes. Ribosomes are these small dots that you see here. They're located throughout the cell, and often you're going to see them attached to another organelle, like the ones that are here. So the job of ribosomes are to make, or a lot of times what they call synthesize, proteins. Ribosomes have an important job, a really big job, in that they need to make proteins for the rest of the body, or the rest of this living thing. Let's remind ourselves what proteins are. So if you think way back to Unit 2, proteins are large molecules that help organisms keep strong and healthy muscles. It copies DNA and it responds to the environment. So ribosomes make protein, and proteins make our muscles and our bones and allows us to be healthy and strong. Without protein, we'd be really weak and flimsy individuals. So it's an important job for ribosomes to make protein for us to be healthy and strong. Let's look at the next organelle. The next one is called the endoplasmic reticulum. I'll say it again. Endoplasmic reticulum. I dare you to say that to a few people after you leave school today, as it's probably a word most people are not familiar with, but you will be by the end of class today. The endoplasmic reticulum is where proteins made by the ribosomes are transported to other parts of the cell. In our diagram here, this blue organelle is the endoplasmic reticulum. You'll see that it kind of has lines to where it forms somewhat of a highway. So the endoplasmic reticulum is where ribosomes that made the protein, when the protein is ready to be transported to another part of the cell, it goes through the endoplasmic reticulum so that it can get transported. It works very much like a highway. So the endoplasmic reticulum, sometimes called the ER for short, is like a highway to transport proteins. So think of all the cars that you see here as protein, and then the actual road would be the ER, or endoplasmic reticulum. The next organelle is called the Golgi body. As you can see in the picture, the Golgi body is this orange organelle that's here. Now, it's also involved in proteins too, but its job is to package the proteins. What I mean is, once the ribosomes begin to make the proteins, they then go to the Golgi body here so that it can be packaged to be sent throughout the cell. Once the Golgi body packages the protein and it's finally ready to be shipped, the Golgi body will send the protein to the endoplasmic reticulum so that it could be transported. The Golgi body is kind of like the post office. So you already have something that's ready to ship, like the protein, but it needs to be packaged for it to finally be ready to be transported. So the Golgi body will package the protein and send it to the endoplasmic reticulum so that it can be transported. The last organelle is called the cell membrane. The cell membrane is what surrounds the outside of the cell. So you can see in this picture, it's this dark purple lining on the outside of the cell, and it controls what goes in and out of the cell. For example, when the cell needs water, the cell membrane will open up and allow water to pass through. Now, when there's something that it wants to protect against, such as viruses and bacteria, the cell membrane will act as a fence and will not allow bad things inside. So I kind of think of the cell membrane as guards. It controls what goes in and what goes out of the cell. All 5 of the organelles that we studied today are found in both plant and animal cells. So when you look in your chart and it asks you whether it's found in plant and animal cells, all of the 5 that we studied today are found in both. You'll now continue on with the rest of your classwork by completing the questions below your chart. Let me know if you have any questions. Good luck.